In the following video, I'm going to be showing you how to make your very own DIY cattle fence. Now, our fence is going to be more for an architectural style for a homestead, but it can be used to hold livestock in the presumable future. You're also going to be seeing the DIY gate and driveway there. Those are going to be coming out very soon. Be sure to check those out. And if you don't choose to go with a style like this, we do explore different options. Maybe you could tailor it to your needs. Either way, we think you're going to learn something. Enjoy. So welcome back to another episode of DHamDIY. In this episode, we're going to be building a fence, and more specifically, just digging the holes for the posts. Now, we're going to be doing 53 post holes, so this is going to be quite a workout. And it really just took forever to get these permit approved, right? But we finally got it approved. We got it denied once, and it seemed like we were just waiting around for no reason, right? But that's the joy of dealing with the city. So we have our post hole digger. We're going to be going 2 feet down. Let's find out where that is. So we're going to be doing, we're going to be going down right about past that bolt. And it's going to be a 4-foot cattle fence with probably 2x6 runner boards. We're going to have 3 of them. And yeah, we got a 5-foot setback on the back side of the property for an electrical easement. And then we got 3-inch setbacks on either side of the property, or either 3 sides for, just in case we don't mark the property line perfectly. Now, rather than going 3 inches and then, centering out the fence, we're going to do 3 inches from the edge of the auger. So that really puts us at 8 inches, being that it's a 10-inch auger from the property line. And that gives us a little bit more leeway in terms of, if something's wrong, we don't have to tear down the fence or something like that. So yeah, 8 inches back, 12 foot on center for the actual posts. And yeah, so we're just gonna put a string down 8 inches back, put a bunch of flags every 12 feet, and then get drilling. We're not gonna take you for that first step of marking everything out though, because you get the idea. Anyway, let's get to it. And yeah, I think it's pretty evident that this took more than just one day. We were a little bit ambitious on that estimation. This was extremely labor intensive, right? It took the both of us, me and Lindsay, maybe 4 or 5 different times going out to get all these in there. But we figured out a good strategy towards the end. I had my extender between the auger and the actual bit, and that was making it really, really hard to drill the holes. Once we took that off, we were building a lot of steam, and we were able to plow through it without any issues. It's also worth noting some of the areas we couldn't go down all the way 2 feet. Some of them were maybe 15 inches, but that's okay. We're just going to pour the concrete, put the post in, and then chop off the remainder on top, and you won't be able to tell any difference. Okay, so we got our post in the ground. Now we're going to mix this cement. The Cushman 6 cubic feet cement mixer, right? Absolutely incredible. I mixed all kinds of stuff with it, making some projects that are coming in a later video. And I was using cement, right? I wasn't using concrete. Now this is a concrete mixer, cement mixer, whatever your preference. But we got 2 60-pound bags. This thing can do up to 4 80-pound bags, I'm pretty sure. That is, I think more than that, really. This is gonna be like child's play for this cement mixer. But I was told 2 quarts per 60-pound bag. That seems awfully low to me, but we're gonna estimate it despite what everyone would say. Let's go ahead and put a little bit of water in here. And despite what everyone say would be right, I really should have been more precise with the water. A lot of the mixes you're going to see in the video are really runny, and as a result, I ended up losing a lot of concrete. I thought 2 60-pound bags would work. It ended up being about a 60-pound bag and an 80-pound bag. And if I didn't mix all of them so runny, we could have, piled up the concrete a little bit better to where when it does rain, the water goes out and away from the post rather than, pooling around it. And a couple of the posts were a little bit too shallow. I'm gonna fix that later. Just come by with some concrete and fill it up, and trowel it out. The Cushman cement mixer was a massive, massive help. I'm so glad I bought it. Anyone who wants to use it, highly recommend it. It worked really great. There is cheaper options. There's more expensive options. This was perfect for me. The wheelbarrow cement mixer type is great. The 80-pound bag and the 60-pound bag were just absolutely... it was child's play for this cement mixer. It mixed about 100 bags of concrete through it. I ran and no problems. So what I did for the posts is I sunk 4 corner posts you know, in the concrete and everything first, let them harden, and then I used strings, ran them from each corner, and then, you know, I'm using that as a guide, and so that way I know how deep to sink the posts. I also put a post in the middle between the left and right sides of the property because there was a bit of a grade change, so that's, you know, it just worked out better that way. So I had 6 posts total with strings on them, and then from there I sunk all the other posts. And yeah, you know, no problems, just real run-of-the-mill copy-paste type situation. The saw pole helped a ton. Having power there for the cement mixer, you know, having a generator would have been absolutely terrible. Okay, so we have completed putting in all of our posts. And although it may not be the straightest, it's I think it's good enough, right? So we put the mid marker over there, run our string to that, and then ran the string from that to the other end of the corner of the property. We did all our posts, and now we're going to put our runners in. We got 52 by 6s to start, and we also have some screws that I'll show you and washers in a minute. Once and yeah, you know, we're just going to screw them on in here. Probably do a pilot hole first and then connect it. And you can see here that the wood was a little bit wet. Wasn't quite dry. It's okay though. I think it'll still hold up fine structurally. Okay, so we got some lag screws here. I had to get 2 different types because they just didn't have any of, they didn't have 200 of the same. So I got a 1/4 inch lag screws, 4 inches long, and then I got another 1/4 inch, but these are 3.5 inches long. And I'm probably gonna do maybe the top one, the longer one, and then the 3.5 for the one below. And on each side of the board, on the 2x6, I'm doing 2 of these. And I also got some flat steel washers as well. I think these are zinc coated as well. And I'm gonna put them in there just like that. And that's gonna give the lag screw more bite, essentially. And then I'll show you here what I'm gonna do once. Oh boy. So yeah, we got 1/4 inch and then a 1/4 inch and then 3.5. 1/4 is gonna sit in there like that up top, and then down below, you know, something like these. And that's gonna work pretty good. Drilling pilot holes as well, with I believe a 5 and 32. And yeah, I'm gonna try to get them. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, obviously, but I'm gonna try to go maybe 1 inch in. Well, 1/2 inch from either side, and then about 1 inch down. So I'd say maybe right about there will be fine. Make sure that's all drilled out really nice. Now this isn't long enough, I do realize that. However, bit of a pinch. I don't have a longer drill bit, but I think this will work just fine. Let's go ahead and try it out. If it starts to split, we'll know right away that this isn't going to work. But I think it should be good. It's mainly the 2x6 we're worried about splitting. I think the 4x4 will be just fine. Okay. Try to get that closer on there. All right, so no sign of splitting, cracking, nothing. Everything looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and take that off. We don't need that clamp anymore. That's plenty of biting power. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. All right, now let's get one more in there. Get my pilot hole. Let's see, right about. All right, and it's easy to see really how I was doing that from that short little clip. I didn't think you needed to see any more of that. Just getting those lag screws, pilot hole, zipping them in. 4 screws per runner, 2 on each side, and then a total of 12 screws per post, being that there's 3 runners. I'm doing the top runner on this fence right now. It really works to do it with 2 people, having one person clamp one side, you clamp the other, and then you just saw off the remainder, being that I was working with 14-foot boards, but I only needed them for 12-foot. It wasn't exactly 12 feet, that's why I didn't get 12-foot boards. I got 14-foot boards and cut off the remainder. And I'm going to end up using the remainder anyway. And the lag screws, you know, why didn't you just use nails? Well, nails get loose, they bend, they're hard to reuse. These lag screws, although they are going to rust a little bit from that zinc coating wearing off when I'm screwing them in there, I might hit it with a black spray paint or something like that later. But anyway, I'm going to be able to reuse these after these boards have rotted out, and this is pressure-treated lumber, so it's going to be a very, very long time before these rot out. But screws just seemed like the better investment. I could rebuild a fence with them in the future or another project rather than having wasted nails I just throw in the trash. 30 cents per screw, you know, it's expensive, but it is what it is. Yeah, I forgot my extension cord this day too, so we're running all the way back to the saw pole, cutting it, running it all the way back, and then reclamping it, wasting a ton of time. If I were to do it again, I probably wouldn't have used that pressure-treated lumber because it is warping, and you'll see some issues with that in some other videos. And, you know, it's more expensive, but it is what it is. So nothing too complicated here, just copy and paste, putting those runners up. A little bit windy today, but so you saw that day, that afternoon, when we had put these runners onto the fence posts, and you also saw how we put the fence posts in the ground. A little windy, I apologize for that. We went ahead and did 3 runners on the front side of the property. I'll show you that here. So now that we have done that, what I'm doing now is putting a board on top, and this is a 6-inch, you know, this is a 2x6, and I'm just laying it on top and flushing it up with this back of the 4x4, and then a little bit of overhang, I presume, because nothing's even these days. This probably isn't exactly 2 inches thick. It's probably like probably 1.5 or something, so we're losing half an inch because idiots. Or maybe this is a little bit longer than the 6-inch. I'm just not too certain. But either way, the overhang looks a little good, right? It looks nice. So what I'm doing is just clamping it on, and I'm going to put 2 of the lag screws with a washer. I think I'm going to put one over here on this side towards the end of the 4x4. Excuse me. And then another one on the end here, maybe over by the 2x6. I'm drilling into that, or even just both into the 4x4 like that. Probably both into the 4x4, honestly, because I don't want to be drilling into that. I don't want this to be supporting that. I mean, well, maybe that's a good idea, actually. Just intermediately sink a smaller screw in between there. Yeah, I think that's a better idea. So I'm going to do lag screws here, and I'll come back later and put a couple of screws into the... And here's the gate also attached to the fence. Now, there's a lot of different ways of going about this fence. You can see here we have 3 runners and you know, a diagonal for the gate, but a top board as well on there. So you could do it this way, or you could do it how we have it over there, which is the 3 runners but no board on top, right? And then the back side of the property will also have three runners, no top board. Or you could even go how we have it over here, which would be 2 runners, no bottom runner, and then you could attach maybe some chicken wire or something along those lines. There's a lot of different ways you could do it. You can. I've even seen people do a 4-inch by 1-inch piece of wood right here over that to hide the screw holes and hide any gaps that may or may not be there depending on your level of experience. Anyway, thanks for watching this DIY fence video. If you haven't seen the DIY gate video, be sure to check that out. I didn't want to attach them both into one video. I just figured it would be a little bit too much information. So just to summarize this build, at least in the front, right, mimicking everything else, 12 foot on center space between the posts being 6 feet long, 2 feet in the ground, and 4 feet above the ground, 10 inches in diameter for the post hole, with about 80 and a 60 pound bag of concrete, so 140 pounds of concrete total. That was a little more, a little less than you needed in some areas. Not all the post holes were exactly 2 feet deep. Some of them were a little bit shorter, so I ended up having to cut the top of the post off, but that's okay, because 2 feet is really maybe a little overkill anyway. 2x4 runners, or 2x6 runners, I'm sorry, 3 of them, with lag screws affixing them, 1/4 inch lag screws, 3 to 3.5 inches long, depending on the area. And we also have some washers as well. Now you can see here, this is the plated zinc. This isn't the hot dripped zinc. It's already starting to rust. And that's okay, because what was happening was the washer was sticking to the wood, and then the screw was spinning around, rubbing the zinc coating off. You know, that's expected. I did use some hot drip screws on the left side over there, but you know, really this is fine. This is fine. What I might end up doing is going and shooting it with some really thick black paint, and then putting a 1x4 across. I'm not too sure yet, but you know, there's a lot of different ways to do this. The true question is, though, how will you do it? Thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you next time.